मेरे बारे में तू अपनी कोई राय मत बना, मेरा वक्त बदल जाएगा, तेरी राय भी बदल जाएगी.
You have about 200 crores in your bank account, right?
Correct. There are so many founders I know, you know them as well, we can't name them now, who bought their homes in Camellias when they got their exit in 2021. Their homes are worth thrice today.
Wow.
Total, I think, in my journey, I must have paid close to 45 odd crores in tax.
What are some of the things that you know that very few people know about making money?
I wept like a baby. रोया हूँ मैं वहाँ बैठ के कम से कम 15 minutes because I was so frustrated.
What happened? How much does it cost, a private jet? Have you done the math?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Tell me.
You really want to know?
Of course I want to know. I recently read that you gotten an exit from your venture and you have about 200 crores in your bank account, right?
Correct.
Right. So we just want to understand, how does your lifestyle in general change when you go from having less than a crore to crossing 10 crores and then crossing 100 crores?
I learned something in a very early stage from one of my mentors, Mr. Ashutosh Tapadia, Ananta Capital, where he said, देख भाई, मरने के लिए 10 फुट पानी भी बहुत है, 100 फुट पानी भी बहुत है, 1000 फुट पानी भी बहुत है. So basically, for a person between, let's say, a 25 crores to a 100 crore mark, same lifestyle. From a 100 crore to a 400-500 crore mark, same lifestyle. From a 500 crore to $1 billion mark, I would say same lifestyle.
So tell me what changes, because you mentioned from 25 to 100 crores, it's same. After 100 crores, क्या होता है? What
Yeah, after
changes?
100 crores, you get the liberty to fly business. I'll give you a small example. Like, I have a rule with my family, everyone. Any flight less than 5 hours, I'll do economy.
Okay.
Or a premium economy. Any flight more than 5 hours, I'll do business. Okay. But after a certain wealth, even a 1 hour flight for people becomes business.
Okay.
Right?
So that is the after 100 crores.
That's after 100 crores maybe.
What I've noticed is that to meet very interesting people that you can learn from, they are usually sitting in your business class seats. But of course, that's really expensive. And even I have that rule that if my flight is not sponsored, then I will not take a business class ticket. If it is sponsored, then I'll take business class ticket. But whenever I sit in these business class seats, whoever is sitting next to me, I am learning so much from them, right? It's a great experience, and it's non-stop talk. I don't need to read a book or watch anything on my phone. But then not everybody can afford, paying 5 times more or 10 times more sometimes for that same seat. So the hack that I've figured out is that even if you take premium economy at the back, by paying 700 rupees more, you will still find some very, very interesting and smart people. And I've had great conversations. Something for the audience. So you mentioned that after 100 crores, it's just about business class tickets. But then what happens after 500 crores? What changes then?
Then you start flying private.
Have you flown private?
I've flown private, yes.
Come here all the way from Delhi. You came in private?
No, I came in economy today.
Yeah.
So this wasn't sponsored. So I came in economy and...
How much does it cost, a private jet?
Yeah, it depends. So if you're doing a Delhi-Mumbai, I think about 5.5-6 lakh rupees minimum one way for about 4-5 people. If you do something like a Dubai, 10 to 12 lakhs at least.
And people who cross like 500 crores usually are comfortable doing this.
Easy. Because once you make that much money, फिर सिर्फ आप तरीके ढूंढते हो कि मैं और पैसा कैसे खर्च करूं.
Have you made any stupid purchasing decisions?
No, yaar. I mean, no? I think I've been very grounded that way. And I'm not a great manager of money, to be very honest. So
that was my next question. Like, how do you manage your money?
Okay. So
you're only good at making money.
I'm only good at making money. And that's the truth. So my father
he manages your money.
He manages all our wealth. And I take a pocket money from him on a monthly basis.
Okay.
Yeah. Seriously. So if I have to buy a new car, I'll tell him this is what I want. And then
he will have to give you permission.
Correct. Not permission. He's the one who's going to buy it for me.
So, but are you aware of what's your asset allocation and stuff like that?
Of course I am.
What is your asset allocation?
So I think about 50 to 60% of my wealth is in real estate.
Really?
Yeah, it's in real estate.
I like it. What else?
Yeah, and 20-25% is into public markets.
When you mean public market, you mean the share market?
The share
publicly
market.
listed
Stock
companies.
market.
Yeah.
Stock market mein. And the rest is again in, angel investing in different companies.
Private equity.
Startups, private equity.
Companies like mine.
Correct.
We'll talk later.
Correct.
So you mentioned real estate, public markets, and private markets, which is startups.
Private equity startups.
Do you know what sort of returns you're generating in each of these 3 asset class? Have you done the math?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
Tell me.
You really want to know?
Of course I want to know.
Real estate for me is tripled in the last 3 years. tripled in the last 3 years. And you should check out
300% returns.
300%.
Okay.
And that was just a phase. Again, real estate is all about luck as well. Plots in Gurgaon have tripled. I remember buying a plot for about 13 crores.
When you mean plot, you mean in the outskirts of the city or
No,
in
no.
the city?
Bang on Golf Course Road, Gurgaon.
Okay.
Look at Camellias. Deal of Camellias, that apartment was launched at about 28 crores. Today, that same apartment is for 75 crores.
Wow.
There are so many founders I know, you know them as well, we can't name them now, who bought their homes in Camellias when they got their exit in 2021. Their homes are worth thrice today.
Wow.
The plots I bought that time for about 13 to 15 crores today are about 40 crores each.
So these are plots.
These are plots. These are 1,000 square yard plots, 500 square yard plots.
How much tax have you paid last year?
Yeah, not last year, but total, I think in my journey, I must have paid close to 45 odd crores in tax.
In income tax.
In income tax.
Tell me a little bit more about real estate because 60% in real estate is a lot. So can you tell me a little bit about your real estate investing strategy?
So I love acres, but I'm a bit shy when it comes to investing in apartments,
Of course. Yeah.
right? Because the kind of returns a land can give you, an apartment can't.
But that's an art. That's a skill also. Can you talk a little bit about that? How do you purchase these plots of land or square yards of land or acres of land in your case? How do you identify them and what kind of returns have you made?
So the strategy to buying land or the strategy to buying real estate is you have to be an immediate buyer.
What does that mean?
That means, and that's a strategy of investing in companies also.
Okay.
So many times I've seen that the fact that we as a fund are able to invest very quickly.
It's about the timing.
It's about the timing. It's about, let's say, Sharan, you're raising for your company, right, in times to come, and you have to choose from two different investors. One says, okay, due diligence ho gaya, aapka paisa 3 mahine baad aayega. The other says 15 days, money in the bank. Who would you choose?
15 days.
Of course, 15 days, no? So that's where a lot of winning happens, especially with real estate. So a lot of transactions I've done, I think we've had a transaction done within 3 to 4 days.
So typically, what is the ticket size that you're dealing with in buying real estate?
You're anywhere upwards of 20, 25 crores.
Let's say, for talking to the audience over here, right? Most people will not have more than a crore, right? They'll probably have 30, 40, 50 lakhs at
No,
tops.
for them, no. For them,
They can't think of investing in real estate.
In a city like Gurgaon or Mumbai, you cannot buy anything for 50 lakhs.
But if I'm ready to take a loan and then buy that plot of land and then try to flip it.
No, bro, very risky, no? Because, okay, when you have limited money, it's very important to only invest in assets which are cashable immediately.
Okay, but is it possible to make money in real estate if I have, let's say, like 50 lakhs, 1 crore?
No, so it's possible to make money in real estate no matter how much money you have. You just have to look for the right area. So, for example, if you've got a great pool of money, you can be in Gurgaon or Mumbai. If you don't, go to a tier 3 town. Real estate is an asset, right? It's growing everywhere. And then again, another advantage of real estate when you use it wisely, for example, I can easily take a loan against my property at a 9, 10, 11%.
Yeah.
I can give it to you to give me at least a 25, 30% annual return. So once you've got a tangible asset against which you can borrow, nothing like it.
According to you, when is the right time to buy a house? Like after what sort of net worth? I know you bought a 10,000 square feet house. Right? After what net worth did you buy a house?
Yeah, so I had so I've been wanting to buy a house from the last 5 or 6 years.
Currently you're 36.
Currently I'm 36. So since the age I was 29, I've been wanting to buy a house for myself, have an independent lifestyle. And paternal home was there. So my parents continued living in that house. So for me, buying a house was more of an emotional decision. And I think, Sharan, puri dunya ke liye yahi hai, right? At least Bharat ke liye yahi hai. So I waited for the right time to be able to have that liquidity, to be able to buy that house debt-free, right?
Oh, you bought your houses without a loan?
Without a loan. Obviously, I bought them after cashing out. So obviously, I had no loans on my house. But
so it's very easy for you to say that, right? Because you got let's say a secondary, you got 60 crores in your bank account.
Correct.
And then buying a 5 crore house, you wouldn't care. But for most people watching over here, they have overall net worth of, let's say, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs. For them to get a house, let's say minimum 2 crore investment in Mumbai at least, they have to get a loan.
No,
right? So how do you look at that?
So I would say don't get a house in Mumbai. All I'm saying is जिंदगी में एक घर होना चाहिए, चाहे वो आपके नेटिव शहर के पास हो, चाहे वो गांव में हो, चाहे वो छोटे शहर में हो. But I need to have a shelter. I need to have a place where my wife, my kids, my parents can come back to on a daily basis. Because that debate कि चलो आपके पास 2 crore रुपए हैं, you put 2 crores in public markets. Again, man, putting money where it is easily cashable.
You watched my reel.
I've seen
2
that.
crores in house or 2 crores in the markets.
So again, someone like me who's very impulsive, who's greedy, would say, अरे मेरे दोस्त ने बोला एक opportunity आ रहा है भाई, काम कर फटाफट इसमें डाल.
हाँ.
There's a high chance of me losing that 2 crore also. Or maybe that 2 crore becoming 1.5. But I've got a house, which is a 2 crore rupee house. I know 10 साल में ये कम से कम 3-3.5 crore तो होगा ना.
Interesting. So we coming back to your asset allocation, right? We've talked about real estate a lot. How was your stock market investments?
No idea.
You don't know.
No idea.
That's what your dad is looking at.
That's what. I know my family owns 25% of our wealth is in public markets. किस में है, क्या है, no idea.
Which mutual fund, which stock, you don't know.
No idea.
So private markets, the startups, I'm sure you would be knowing that, right? Can you talk a little bit about how many startups have you invested in and what sort of exits or returns you've gotten from
I've just invested in about 5-6 startups right now.
Okay.
I had, I took a 10 crore rupee amount from my father recently and I said, let me invest it in startups.
Meaning you asked, I want my money 10 crores, I'll now put in.
ठीक है, मतलब,
So you, like, how do you look at startup investments? Like, how do you invest?
I do a lot of gut investing. Like a company Univest, that was a very big check for me. So out of 10 crores, I've invested about 7 crores in a company called Univest.
So you're taking very concentrated bets.
Very concentrated bet in Univest because I saw a lot of value that company would add to the market and we're seeing the returns. I mean, the money's already grown 3x already in the last 15 months, which is fantastic.
Wow.
4x, I would say, which is brilliantly amazing. And then apart from that, I've just launched, in fact, we're launching, and I hope by the time this comes, we would have launched it, a venture studio.
Okay.
We're calling it Wolfpack Ventures.
Interesting. So basically you're helping young founders in their 0 to 1 journey because that is the hardest.
That's the hardest.
And you also had 5 startups of your own, right? Before you became successful.
Correct.
So you had a lot of learnings of what to do and what not to do.
Correct.
The question is that today I am, let's say, a 25, 30-year-old chap
Be
working.
25. Let's be younger. Let's be 25.
25-year-old chap working in India. And if I want to reach a net worth of, let's say, 10 crores in the next 20 years, what should be my blueprint? What should I do? Step by step. What would you do?
Okay. First, your blueprint should be to reach 10 crores, not in 20 years, but in 5 years.
Okay.
Okay. You've got to be impatient. You've got to do things patiently, but you've got to be impatient.
Okay.
Okay. Second, it's very important, Sharan, to match your skill set with the kind of work you do. It could be business, it could be entrepreneurship, same thing, or it could be a job, or it could be content creation. You need to match your core skill set. For example, my core skill set is 0 to 1. I'm great with ideations, I'm great with execution, I'm great with GTM strategies. Once you've identified your core skill set, you create a business around it. Very important. You cannot be a fish who is trying to compete with the birds.
Okay.
Okay? Let's say if you're great with HR, you open your own HR agency. The easiest way to create wealth is similar to how government partnerships work. Have you heard about the BOT model?
Build, operate,
and transfer.
Yeah.
I work on a model, and I have no shame in saying this. I work on a model saying BOS. Build, operate, scale. Sell.
Build, operate, sell.
BOSS. Okay. Boss.
Build, operate, scale and sell. I like it. The boss model.
The boss model. A lot of VCs, a lot of people say, don't build a company to sell. And I agree with that. Don't build a company to sell. But build a company in a way or build a business in a way that it is easily sellable. And जो functions आप नहीं कर सकते, either get a co-founder with that or hire the right people. Very important. And always know your safety net. Don't be greedy. If 10 crores is your safety net, पहले 10 crores का exit ले लो. उसके बाद gun for the 100. So like my safety net used to be 25 crores. Trust me, Sharan, that day, someone would have told me that, hey, listen, we'll buy your entire company for 30 crores. I might have sold it.
Oh.
Yeah. But then great. I got offered 60. I took 60. Ananta might regret this today, but fair.
And then you got another 200.
Yeah.
Whew. So you mentioned that you're very good at making money, right? Not managing money.
I never said that. You said that.
But you agreed. You're very good at making money. So what are some of the things that you know that very few people know about making money?
Okay. Be flexible about your ownership of your company.
What does that mean?
That means, tell me something, Sharan. You were starting out new today, let's say a D2C brand or any brand, okay? You have two options. One, build it on your own, okay? And then go in the market, raise VC money, blah, 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 blah. Second, get me as your partner, put in 35, 40, 50 lakh rupees and I take 30%. what would you choose? And be very honest. You
If I
might
have to
choose the
start
first.
I'm assuming that I've crossed the 0 to 1 stage. Right now, the risk has significantly reduced.
Correct.
So I don't need to give away a lot of equity.
Absolutely.
But if I'm starting from 0, and let's say I meet you in a business class seat, and you talk to me about how much you have achieved, right? Then I'm very inclined to want to partner with you. And at that point of time, if you're going to minimize my risk by 90%, I would be very happy to give you 30%
So I'm glad
stake.
because you're mindful of that. A lot of people are not. लोगों को नहीं समझ आता. लोग ये सोचते हैं, हाय मेरी कंपनी मेरी इक्विटी.
Yeah,
Right?
of course.
So if I've invested 50 lakhs in a company, I have to bloody make sure that this company thrives, this company successes, this company succeeds. So it's very important for people to understand that once you're raising capital with the right people, especially if your investors have the right skin in the game and are able to help you operate the business, teach you the right things, the journey becomes far more simpler.
See, it's all fun and prestigious to be an entrepreneur, running your own business and all of that. Is there any, incidents in your life which you faced during your early days where you just couldn't deal with that pressure, and what you did to come out of it?
True story. 2019, me, Bangalore, Amazon office. And if you've been to the Amazon office, there's a beautiful lake in their office complex. Okay. So there's a mall on the right and there's a lake in the center. And then there's this Hatti Kapi, the coffee place. Dude, I have sat on the bench outside in front of that lake below the Amazon office. I think 31 years old, and I've cried. I've wept like a baby. रोया हूँ मैं वहाँ बैठ के कम से कम 15 minutes because I was so frustrated.
What happened?
My journey with Bellavita, Amazon, Flipkart. I'm a growing entrepreneur. Everyone at Amazon is working. Flipkart is working. They are looking. सबके पास काम है, and मैं expect कर रहा हूँ कि मुझसे मिले, right? So I'm there without an appointment, trying to get more insights of how can I make this better, etc. So that frustration, that weight frustrates you, right? And plus you're taking care of 10 different things. Yeah. So imagine a grown man, 31-year-old, 32-year-old, sitting on a bench, crying, and then sipping coffee by himself. That's the kind of things you go through. So people get to see the plush life of ours. Yeah. Yaar, successful ho gaya, 100-200 crore rupees kama liye. Nahi yaar, we've gone through struggles. Now, coming back to struggles. Sharan, it's very important to take the right advice from the right person. If you really want to become an entrepreneur, go take advice from an entrepreneur. अरे आप चाय के ठेले वाले से advice ले लो. That's better than taking advice from your chacha who's in service. Now, flip it. Let's say I'm an entrepreneur and I'm having terrible days. Okay? I call up some uncle or my dad and I say, yaar, धंधे में problem आ रही है, who's also a धंधा guy. Would say, कोई बात नहीं बेटा, धंधा है, होता है, this is business, that's how it's done.
Right.
Fuck it, move on, dude. One day gone, next day, कल कुछ बढ़िया हो जाएगा, परसों कुछ बढ़िया हो जाएगा, लगे रहे. जब तक खाने के पैसे हैं, तब तक लगा रहे. And the best way to keep yourself motivated, Sharan, is by living in the future.
Give me an example.
As in, imagine how your life would be once you've achieved what you're trying to achieve.
So that's what you did when you were sipping
That's what I did.
chai.
That's what I did. And that share, I say this share a lot of times in a lot of my talks, कि मेरे बारे में तू अपनी कोई राय मत बना, मेरे बारे में तू अपनी कोई राय मत बना, मेरा वक्त बदल जाएगा, तेरी राय भी बदल जाएगी.
Cool. Now let's talk about the big letters on your shirt, which you won today.
Oh, okay.
Unikon.ai. And very proud to say that I also invested a small check size in your company. And that's how the entire conversation began, that initial discussion. But what is Unikon.ai? I mean, is it like a unicorn company from day one? What is it?
So we are building a platform, built already, Unikon.ai. It means you and I connect, and we've solved the problem of access. So let's say, Sharan, you're on the platform and your rate card is 10,000 rupees an hour. I'm discounting it a lot, I'm sorry. Just everyone, the entire professional workforce of our country is there. Okay? Everyone sets their own rates. You've got every single person on the platform, from Aakash to the executive level guy of Bellavita.
So basically you're saying that I can pay for the time of really successful and rich people.
Yes. Have you ever driven a car in fog?
In what?
Fog. When there's fog, dhund.
No, I have not driven
Ice.
that time.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So Delhi has a lot of fog.
I mean, Mangalore and Bangalore.
Yeah. So Delhi has a lot of fog. What's the best way to drive a car in fog or in a unknown territory, unknown terrain, especially in the hills? You just follow the car ahead of you. You don't follow the car 10 cars ahead of you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the same journey as growth.
Beautiful analogy.
That's the same journey as growth.
Basically, what you're trying to say is that when you want advice, don't seek it from people who are 10 steps ahead of you. seek it from people who are like 2-3 steps ahead of you.
आप जैसा बनना चाहते हो वैसा बनो.
Yeah.
Now the question should be, why can I not ask this one-to-one in my own company?
Okay.
If I'm working in Bellavita, why can't I ask my senior manager, my VP, how to become a VP? Right? Or as an executive, why can't I ask my manager on how to become a manager?
Why?
Because insecurity.
Right.
And I'm sorry I'm putting this out there, but people are shy of helping other people also because of their own insecurity कि यार ये तो मेरी job खा जाएगा या ये मेरे से आगे निकल जाएगा, which is okay, not okay at the same time. So if
Human nature.
Human nature, and nothing wrong with it. Everyone's insecure. So an employee in Bellavita who wants to become a senior manager could find a parallel company and ask that senior manager कि मैं आप जैसा कैसे बनूं and आपसे जल्दी कैसे बनूं. And that's the guy who's going to give you true advice.
Absolutely. I think it's almost 9 o'clock here.
I'm here all day.
Thank you
Awesome,
so
man.
much, guys,
Awesome.
for watching till the end.
Thanks, guys.
And I'll see you in the next one.